It was Auto Club 2 weeks ago, and now we go to a short, fast, high bank concrete oval. Miles the Monster is hungry this week. This racetrack is notorious for turn 2 getting very short as you're side by side. Live here tonight from Dover, it's the Chapman Cup Series, live on Vspeed. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, for the PSS Safety Products 200, and Alex Gagnon pulling through it is what I put up on the broadcast team here tonight. Dougie Beard Custom Cameras. It's gonna be a tough one. This racetrack, it is torture. If you don't like this place, it's gonna be difficult to get around it.
100%. This place, even for the drivers who like it, is not the easiest place to drive. It's only 1 mile long, but it is incredibly difficult to navigate. Most notably, coming out of turn 2, going over the tunnel there, the car can get off balance super easily, especially if you're side by side. You really can find yourself in a world of trouble. And that issue then gets compounded with the fact that there's not really an infield that you can slide to here at Dover. So if you go sideways, you're just sideways in the middle of the track, and then a 1-car collision can very quickly become a 5 or 6-car collision just like that.
And we're talking about in the pre-race how this racetrack can clog up and have multiple incidents just because there's nowhere to go, especially on that back stretch and front stretch. Self-cleaning track, cars will come down off of that banking. 24 degrees, that's one of the most steep tracks that we race at here on the schedule. Taking a look at the points, though, it's Jeremy Burns, and he'll actually have to take an early exit here tonight. So it's 33 points back to Dakota Floyd. Michael Call in the top 3, pretty tight there with Matthew Robinson, Carter Lenz. But you look at that top 5 between 2nd and 5th, it's really, really close. But Jeremy Burns has been putting on a clinic here, and as he continues to pull ahead, this little break here might change the situation for him. But let's take a track side, get the grid up on the screen. Starting on the top spot here this evening, it's going to be Trevor Earhart with a 22.381. Dakota Floyd will start to his outside of the 57. Jeremy Burns going to take that early exit. He's going to start in 3rd with the 11 of Matt Robinson, Grant Turner, and Rob Rader for row number 3. And then you have Michael Bennett and Tyler Harrison. Justice Murphy going to start in 9th position. And rounding out your top 10 is Brandon Pimpatat in the 87.
Yeah, looking back to row number 6, Carter Lenz and Michael Call will be making up that row. Trevor Keith, Ben Laughter in 13th and 14th here tonight. Alex Forget lines off here alongside Jeremiah Nelson. 17th will go to Al Likens here to start alongside Fred Pennington, the 30, with row number 10 being Parker Johnston and Brandon Richardson.
21st spot going to go to Nick Alves with Dylan Bickelsheimer in 22nd. 23rd with Daniel Holloway, Justin Ritchie in 24th position. Then you have 25th with Caleb Gilbert, Christopher Schaefer in 26th. No joy on Michael Reed, 27th and 28th back here in row 14. Kevin Orlando, last driver to take a time in 29th. Ryan Munoz is going to start in 30th. Then you have Kyle Diaz and Jacob Sirkovich rounding out your field here this evening. The Trevor Earhart getting his first pole award here. KLD Truck Repair. And into turn 3 as we'll watch the pace car pull off, this time by. Feels like we're a lot deeper into the season than we really are. This is still very early. Not even a third of the way through this thing.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it already feels like we're truly into the middle of the year. But we still got plenty of season to go. Pace car, though, peeling off. It'll be Earhart and Floyd here ready to go in just a moment.
Green flag is out. We're underway at Dover. Wheel spin, and the wheel to the right. The 39's involved, and there's the track blocker we were talking about right out of the gate.
Oh, boy, they didn't even get to the start-finish line there. The accordion effect backed up big time. Oh, man, that is... You know, there's a lot of ways you can start a race here, especially at Dover, but that is probably about the worst way you can start it if you are a couple of folks here. Take a look at this. Grant Turner rolling off in a great spot here. Was rolling off 3rd on the inside row. And that track position has quickly gotten away from him.
Same with that in the 87 on the outside. Watch this, the 14, the 39, both simultaneously wheel spin on the inside. So we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout this race. It seems like the inside line a little bit more difficult to get it hooked up.
Yeah, 100%, especially coming onto the restart zone there. For the leaders, it kind of flattens back out when you get on the gas, but if you're a couple rows deep in the pack, you're still a little bit on that banking. And on cold tires, it just sounds like those cars just took off on them. And yeah, that's going to completely shuffle up this field. Also a huge break, I think, for Ryan Munoz, who's going to have to start this thing from pit lane. And he's going to shuffle right back into the group here almost immediately.
Yeah, 81, and then the other part that I was mentioning, kind of surprised, the 57 of Floyd took the lead right out of the hole shot. So the 41 of Earhart, we barely made it 100 feet, and the 57 had the lead when the caution came out.
And that's some impressive work there from Dakota Floyd, given that he had maybe, I don't know, 3 seconds between when they crossed the line and when that yellow came back out. So great launch there for the 57 to take the spot over the 41 Earhart here. I believe Ryan Munoz is going to have to take the wave around when this is said and done, but they didn't even get to turn 1, so maybe it's something I don't know, but I think he is going to have to take the wave around here if my math is correct.
Yeah, it looks like he will get that wave by because he's ahead of the 57 with the way that caution fell. Hopefully can get back up on the lead lap. But looking here at the race analysis, 200 laps, and the first 3, of course, under yellow here, 35 miles per hour. We will have those KSX pit barrels up on the screen at some point in this race because this is a very difficult pit road to get on and off of. 2 green-white checkered attempts with 50% fueled. 6 tire sets, 5 over the wall. This track is very abrasive. It's going to chew them up.
Yeah, it really is. This is a track that has not been particularly kind to tires. You see there, track conditions right now, 78 degrees, so not too hot of a racing surface, which I think may have also played into what we saw happen there on that restart. The concrete, not the best for traction to begin with, and well, when you make it a cold slab of concrete with tires that have no heat in them, it's like skating around on ice out there.
A double back up. Boy, gonna choose the outside. I think that's wise here for this restart. Everybody that wanted it on the choose, gonna choose that outside. You have the 9 of Jeremy Burns there on the bottom. Unfortunate there for Burns that he's gonna have to take an early exit to this one. 33-point lead gonna dwindle down a lot. There's 32 cars on this racetrack, so most likely we could see a new points leader after tonight.
Yeah, definitely a likely possibility as things sit. And there's a couple of folks who are in prime position to try to take advantage of it. And we're seeing a couple of them here in the top 5, in the top 10, as the pace car peels away. And we're going to try this once again, Bradley.
Here we go from Dover. Let's start the race off correctly. Push the loud pedal, hook it up, and let's go racing for Racing Revolution in the Chapman Cup Series already. The 64 Latter. They're wrecking again into the entry of the front stretch. And
looks like Joe Joy is also around there with Sirkovich and Picklesheimer.
It's a rough start here tonight.
Yeah, that is an understatement. We have not hit turn 1 yet, I don't believe. And I hesitate to say, but it feels like it could have been very similar to what we just saw on the opening start of this race, where people are just trying to get on the throttle here in the middle of the corner. The car stepped out on them.
I mean, it was everywhere. It wasn't just here. It was up front as well. They got it to hook up just enough, but we might have to do single file restarts if this doesn't clean up.
Yeah, I mean, at the rate we're going here, it certainly feels like that might be the case, which is honestly pretty wild to say, but here we are.
You're watching here with Floyd just getting laps led, logging here. 6 laps will be led now. 5 of the completed ones so far. And pretty easy to lead laps when nobody can pass you.
Yeah, and he's got the advantage for now. We have absolutely no idea if he's actually got the pace to back that up. Obviously, a good qualifying time put him on the front row, but it's a big question mark to see where he's gonna actually cycle out when we run some laps here. One thing that's really jumped out at me though is the fact that Trevor Earhart has already shuffled back to the 4th spot. He is going the wrong way here in the all combined 8 seconds of racing that we've had to this point.
A lot of cars getting damage repaired as well. You can see Fred Pennington in the 30 getting the fenders beat out on the Ender Morgan Chevrolet. There's the 48 of Parker Johnston. Also 87 of Brandon Pambitat with a meatball flag. He will be parked on pit road. Dylan Picklesheimer just involved in that last one. So we've drove a whole 200 feet, and we should see the one to go. An iRacing safety car needs some sprayers on the back for some P11.
Yeah, this is I think the rest of the field right now they're probably just hoping that we're going to actually make it to turn 1 and 2. We were talking earlier, and we've seen it a couple times already, about how smaller incidents can really compound and really multiply here at Dover. But the other thing we were talking about is how dangerous the exit to turn 2 is. Well, we've already had 2 cautions. We haven't got to the exit to turn 2 yet. So if we're having this much trouble going through 4 onto the front stretch, I do have some concerns when we do hit turn 2 eventually.
Stage at lap 50 here. So we will be a quarter of the way through this race when we hit that stage break. I apologize for not putting that information up on that race analysis, but I don't know if we can even get the race underway. So we'll worry about the stage in a moment. We're doubled back up. Now have Matt Robinson on the inside, so a new driver to the left-hand side of Dakota Floyd. Earhart has managed to lose 2 spots in 200 feet.
Not a great sign here if we have some late race restarts, if that's what's going to be happening for the 41. Matt Robinson, though, he's starting to shuffle the correct way, so curious to see what he's got here on the front row. That inside lane has been snake bit to this point, but here we go. Pace car peeling off.
I'm not even going to say anything about the restart. Let's see if we can get it going.
Well, we've hit turn 1. Hey, that's a new record here.
New record at Dover here for Racing Rev, and pulling out straight ahead. Floyd showing he can lead laps right out of the gate.
Yeah, it was a good restart there for the 57. Got well ahead of the 11. Earhart was also able to shuffle past Robinson in the scrum there, so he's back up to P2. And now we're starting to see some side-by-side battles here through 1 and 2. Looks like that's Jeremy Burns, Al Likens doing a little door-to-door action as they're shuffling on by. You see just how much momentum you carry here. This place is only a mile in length. You get up to about 170, though, going into the corners because you're just able to maintain that much momentum. So we'll take on board here with Linz and just watch at the speed. I mean, these guys lap this place incredibly quick because it's such a momentum track of keeping that speed up, keeping that energy up, coming through the middle of the corner, and then you just go flying down these straightaways.
And a really good run there off of turn 2. Get to the inside. That's Nick Alves he's trying to pass. But you get that run off the corner, but you have to carry it into the entry. That's the problem here is you got to get that run off the exit and keep it to the next corner, or you will not complete the pass.
And if you don't complete the pass and have to back out of the throttle for any reason, you're going to get jumped by the guy behind you because you just lose so much momentum in a short period of time. And one other unique element of Dover that not a lot of racetracks have is this is one of the most banked straightaways of any track we're going to run at this year. You'll see when we go down the back straightaway, it's still 9 degrees of banking on the straightaway. So even when you go to make passes, you still have to be really mindful of where you position the wheel, because at some tracks, the banking on the straightaway here is the same as the corner banking. Like if you go to like a Richmond, their corners are almost as banked as the straightaways here at Dover. So it's just another wrinkle that goes into trying to make passes here at Dover. It makes it quite the challenge.
About to talk to Justin Ritchie here. Uploaded his paint just prior to this race. It's a custom number scheme with another number scheme over top of it. We'll get that fixed out. Side by side behind it, Parker Johnston just got by Ryan Munoz in the 81. And Brandon Richardson in the number 8, trying to gain another spot. Up 12 for the 81, and I guess when you start from pit road is Schaefer actually got a little out of shape there off of 2, but when you start from the pits, there's only one place to go, and that's up.
And he's doing a mighty fine job of that right now. He's already up to P18. And remember, he had to take the wave around with the first caution, so he's settled back to the back of the field. You know, he had a little bit of help with some cars getting some damage on that second caution, but, you know, some of this has also been positions he's made up on the racetrack. He looks pretty fast here tonight. And I'm curious to see if we're able to extend this thing out to the stage, let him get some laps under him. Curious to see how much speed that 81's got and see how quickly he can work his way to the front, because it looks like he is really dicing through the back half of the field right now.
Alves into the wall there off of turn 2. Turn 2 exit wall is going to be kind of similar to what you see at Darlington. A lot of drivers are going to make a brush with it. You're going to get a little stripe on the side of it. It's not until Miles the Monster decides he's hungry. Brandon Richardson. No, that's Holloway. It's Holloway into the inside wall. Watch here on the instant replay. We'll go back. Watch the 21 get really loose here off the corner. Oh, he had some help.
Yeah, looks like he probably had to lift just a touch to hold on to that car. And it looks like Michael Reed was not going to give him the opportunity to do so. And nearly ended up losing the back end of that thing. Luckily for the 21, was just able to keep it off the inside wall, so Holloway forges on here. Although he did lose a couple positions in the scramble. So meanwhile, up front, Trevor Earhart diving for the lead here in turn 1 and 2.
Lost those 2 spots on the 2 restarts, the initial start, and then contact with the wall. And it looked like during that little scuffle, 57 brushed the wall, 41 lifted out of it. Earhart given room to the 57, ends up costing him a position, and the 11 gets back around him. So as soon as we put the camera on him, he's back to 3rd.
Just what, oh, here goes Robinson to the outside. It was just what we were talking about earlier. The moment you have to list, someone is right there to take advantage. That's someone, in this case, being Matt Robinson, who's going to try to take that all the way to the lead here as he's working the outside of Floyd off of 4. It's going to be a dead heat coming to the line. I think Robinson led that lap, but he is by no means clear yet. Dakota Floyd fighting hard on the inside.
Matthew Robinson going to take the front, but I'm listening to the clutch pedal here on Floyd's machine. He might be conserving fuel a little bit to make it to the end of this stage. If we run it out green, we might not be able to make it.
So it is funny, you know, we talk about the stage being 50 laps. Fuel window at Dover is going to be about 40 to 45. And with the amount of caution laps we had in the opening, 8 or so laps, I think a lot of these guys are suddenly thinking, hey, we might be able to make it to the stage without having to come down pit road, which could really throw a wrinkle into this as far as if people are going to split this stage up trying to take fuel versus people who are going to try to run this thing out. Because granted, it was a bumpy start here today, but things have really started to settle out nicely now, and people are really starting to find their groove, find their momentum here on the racetrack.
Yeah, and Matt Robinson is not conserving fuel at all. Full on to the pedal here as we take a listen back in on the onboard. He's leading laps. He's pulling away. Maybe that's not a good thing. Floyd falls back to 3rd. Now back to 4th. As we run on board, I think Floyd's pulling that strategy and nobody else is thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was really in the cards that anyone was anticipating here today, but the way this race started, it's a real possibility. It's still a bit of a stretch. I mean, we're talking about, even in the best case scenario, adding about another 5 laps to the fuel window. But with the amount of caution laps that they ran at the start of this thing, the odds are definitely higher than 0. And right now that might be the case with the 57, because he got swallowed up by the top 4 cars here. And now Michael Call ready to forge on and try to do the same. As you see just behind him, Al Likens in a battle with Trevor Keith. This is the battle for 9th on the racetrack right now. They'll be side by side coming off of turn 2.
Heath gets to run off the corner, keeps Likens back in 10. Likens trying to make that pass, ends up almost 3 wide here as we look off the corner. Tyler Harrison in the mix with Alex Forget.
Forget going to run it up toward the high side of the racetrack. We've got Harrison down low coming off of turn 2. Not able to stay alongside Forget there. Drops back in line as they make their way into 3. And you can see at the onboard here, a lot of different options here in the early going of people trying the bottom, trying the top. Got some folks running the middle. A lot of lane opportunities right now at Dover. And you can also see that track temp has spiked since this race has started.
10 degrees.
It was at 7. Yeah, it was at 78 when we dropped the green flag. Only 30 laps in, and yeah, oh boy.
Forget gets really loose off of turn 2. Likens is going to brush the wall out ahead. It is haymaker after haymaker. Do whatever you can. Floyd falls back another position. Jeremiah Nelson on the outside. Now Lenz gets by. Gonna run side by side out of turn 2. This is the part in the run where you kind of run out of room off of 2.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. The bump there with the tunnel, especially with how narrow the exit to 2 is when you run side by side, it can really get you out of sorts if you're not careful. You see now that is, I think that's Jeremy Burns and Dakota Floyd battling for 7th just behind him. That has the Keith and Likens battle pressing just behind him as well. So right now, a lot of the cars in the top 10 starting to find some dance partners trying to swap some positions around.
What a contrast to the beginning of this race. I thought for sure we would be here until midnight. We couldn't even get them going. And now we're 32 laps in. It's been clean and green since lap 9.
Yeah, it's they've really settled in once they got through the say the opening race jitters, as it was. You got Floyd here up high. Trevor Keith now going to try to work the bottom of the racetrack. Al Likens right in tow. Little over-under. Was maybe thinking about going 3 wide, but momentum didn't quite work out that time around. But you see the 13 really trying to find a different line than the 15 right now. Trying to figure out how to make that pass. And he's got some company back there as Harrison was putting some pressure on just a moment ago. As Likens all the way up to the fence there, scrapes the wall in turn 3.
He's got company from the 45 of Harrison, so he's had to push the entries of these corners, but I don't think he needs to push it that much. Harrison's on a different line down low. You brush that wall too many more times, you might end up spun or with damage. These bumps look insane, though. Watching it through 3 and 4, watch the wheel here that Likens has. We're going to ride around for a lap with the 13. And just watch how much the wheel's going to oscillate back and forth. And the force feedback in these cars is a little bit different. You have kind of a rack and pinion. You have all these different ratios compared to other cars. Watch these bumps. Just, it's involuntary that wheel's moving back and forth.
Yeah, and you see he's seesawing it a little bit, trying to get that car to rotate, but that is also something that you have to do when you have a track this bumpy. Because if you just were to hold it there and plow through one of those bumps without having any give to it, it's going to knock you offline and start sending it either to the inside or the outside wall. So right now, you know, we're not specifically to Al Likens, but just any car in this field. You see how much of a handful it is running out here in the early going, but so far so good for the most part. As you see Justice Murphy now scored in that 2nd position. I think that's because we may have had some folks coming down pit road, or is he just on the move here big time?
I think he's on the move.
I was about to say, this is the first time I think we've talked about him tonight, and he is flying up to the front here. Currently scored in the 3rd spot, but he started back in 9th.
Yeah, and I think he was up 6 positions there for a moment, but I'm not entirely sure. He did not hit pit road. Carter Lenz did come down in that first caution to repair damage. Don't believe that the 66 took tires, but that's the only car up in the top 10 that hit pit road. You had a few top offs with fuel. Caleb Gilbert, if they can't make it on fuel, I think is sitting in the best position. And that's not exactly how you want to start the race, getting caught up in something right out of the gate. But it could come back to be a blessing in disguise, and he could end up with the stage win.
Yeah, right now, just kind of sitting and waiting, seeing what's going to happen. It's going to be a close call for a lot of these folks up front. if they're going to be able to make it. I don't think the 11 could, but we did run a lot of pace laps, so, you know, anything's possible, but still feels like he's really going after it here lap after lap.
Yeah, 2.1 seconds there in the entry at turns 1 and 2, and then it lessened a little bit there on the other side of the racetrack in 3 and 4, so just under 2 seconds. Looks like Earhart a little bit faster, and that math match there. 2/10 faster on the last lap time at 23.789 to Trevor Earhart's 23.597.
And I'm telling you, I'm watching this 41, and the past couple laps he's strung together have been nothing short of phenomenal. He's cut that gap down from about 2 seconds down to about a second and a half, about 3.5, 4/10 quicker that last time around, a 23.6 to a 24.0. 41 starting to apply some pressure here. And I'm not sure if that's because the 11's trying to ease off a little bit to try to make it to the end, or the 11 has decided that it's go time and he's going to try to reel him in here. There's another about 3/10 that got chopped off that lap.
He's bad fast, but he's taking Carter Lentz with him. Lentz matching the lap times within 1/100 of a second. Then you have Jeremiah Nelson, who's been really fast. He was a 10th faster than both the cars in front of him. Let's see if the 31 has anything for him in a moment. It's fitting that there's a Monster Energy logo on the hood of that car. Did we not just see a first-time win from a Monster driver this
We
weekend?
certainly did, and it would be certainly a fun parallel if we had that happen here today in the Chapman Cup Series as well. Tell you what, 31's put himself in good position so far. He's up 12 spots, and he is closing in on that second and third place group. As now Trevor Earhart has cut it down to about a second back of Matt Robinson with about 5 to go here in the stage.
Same names back here from 8th to 12th. Actually, Floyd kind of new in this group, was up front earlier, but side by side continues with Harrison, Forget, Likens. Murphy has fallen back here a little bit. Gonna get tight off of turn 4. Not sure. Murphy must have drove the tires off this thing because he is hemorrhaging spot after spot. He is now down a position. Was up 6 a moment ago.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happened here to the 12 other than maybe he wasn't taking care of his stuff. We talked earlier in the show about how tire wear here really can come back to bite you. And I wonder if he just chewed up his stuff a bit because he was flying when we checked in up him. And he was, I think, as high up as second at one point in this race. Yeah. And now he's in danger of falling out of the top 10 entirely with about a couple laps to go here to the stage. He's just trying to hold on for a stage point at this point.
So Earhart said it was time to go, but it went stagnant. It just around a second of a gap there to Matt Robinson. And you gotta wonder if Robinson maybe was in conservation mode, saw the numbers light up green. It's time to push the car. Gonna approach lap traffic for the 11, just ahead of him here. I believe that's the 87 of Habitat. Could be wrong on that. I am. It's Ben Lapter, the last car in the lead lap right now.
Who got caught up in one of those early incidents here, but not sure if Robinson's going to catch him in time here for it to make a difference. One thing to keep an eye on, though, is Earhart is really under pressure right now from Lenz. He is right on his back bumper and was taking a peek to the inside there in 3.
White flag in the air for stage number 1. The 11 of Robinson has a pretty commanding lead of over 1.2 seconds. It should be able to wrap this stage up on the clutch pedal into 3 and 4. Believe and Laughter is going to stay on the lead lap. And there it is. Stage 1 complete. Carter Lenz tried to get to the inside. Not able to do so. In the top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen. We should be throwing that caution flag here momentarily. There it is. Stage complete. With Robinson, Earhart, Lenz the top 3. Nelson, Burns the top 5. You have Keith, Call, Harrison, Likens, and Forget for the top 10 on stage 1.
Some critical stage points there for Jeremy Burns, knowing that this isn't going to be a full race for him here tonight. At least walking away with a couple extra points here that'll help cushion that impact a little bit.
Could maintain the points lead with that top 5 run. But we've caught back up to the iRacing pace car. 2 cautions to start this out in the first 200 feet of the race. We went clean and green from lap 8 all the way to lap 50. Matt Robinson going to lead him down pit road with your stage win. Congratulations to the number 11. Looking pretty solid so far, but we still have yet to see what these guys will do when they're all on an even strategy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was impressed with the 11 in that opening stage. A lot of my attention initially was going to go to either Earhart or to Floyd. When Floyd started really backing it down, my attention, obviously was immediately grabbed by the 11 when he jumped up to the front, but I was really surprised to see how much he was able to drive away from the field. I know the field kind of reeled him in again late, but really, really shocked to see him open up that 2-second gap. That 11 might have some serious horsepower to work with here today, assuming that he's able to stay on top of the track position game.
Service of 4 tires for everybody here. Highly doubtful that anybody's going to take 2, but here's the battle off of pit road. Robinson going to win that battle. Side by side for the 3rd spot. I think Jeremiah Nelson just beat the 66. He did. And Floyd gained a lot of spots. 11.7 in the box there.
It's a fantastic stop. So we'll take a look here at the replay. See this race off of pit road. So yeah, you see the 31 and the 66. Nelson's got the advantage there. Robinson off first. Nelson with a great stop to take that spot away. And a good stop there from Floyd to gain several positions on pit road.
Let's say it was 2 tires, though. I'm going to confirm that here. Let's look at it one more time.
Right side's up. That much we definitely know. Yeah, it has to be a 2-tire call because that side goes down. Yeah. So right side's only for Dakota Floyd. Feels like a good way to get track position, but I don't know, Bradley. That feels a little early in the race to be doing that because when everyone else is going to be coming down to maybe be able to try that later on in the race, you're going to be stuck with a longer stop, I think. And maybe he was doing that because he was really trying to take care of those left sides in that opening stage, and that's why he fell back. But I don't see the vision yet. But I also, every time I debate it, I usually am wrong. So
yeah, and I've been on that too. The only concern that I have right now, Floyd gains those positions, but did he put enough fuel in the car as well? I think that's where that jack went down and the car stayed for a while. I don't know.
But also, if you're going to top it off from fuel and you're going to have to stay a few seconds anyway, I'm shocked you just don't take the extra 2 more seconds to throw the left sides on. But regardless, pace car peels off and we are racing again. Robinson and Earhart underway. Robinson with a great launch. Outside lane going to take advantage as Lynn slides right into second. And Floyd going to be looking for 3rd here against Earhart.
Oh, contact! 66 into the wall.
Oh, and he got the inside wall hard. That left front fender is completely caved in. And Carter Lins does not look thrilled.
Back on a replay here and see what happened exactly. This was the initial start. He got the run on the outside, tried to take it to the bottom. And the 11 got into the wall, bounced off, and the 66 had nowhere to go.
Man, I mean, the left side of the 66 just got tattooed into the wall. I mean, I think he's missing part of the fender here as we take a look. Yeah, just was running right on top of him there. A little bit of wall contact from the 11, ricocheted back into the 66, and Carter Lynn's definitely got the worst of that. Robinson still holding on to the lead here. Gotta wonder if he's got any damage from both the wall and from Lynn's. as now it looks like Dakota Floyd starting to try to reel him in here.
Floyd got by on the outside of Earhart. Side by side behind it with Likens. There's the 9 of Burns. Caleb Gilbert into this picture now. A lot of different names shuffling through this top 10.
Big move here from Likens trying to get to the inside of Call. Almost going to do it. Not quite, though. Call fought back on the outside. Great bit of momentum. Holds on to the 5th spot for now. Michael Call, of course, we saw win a couple weeks ago. I want to say it was either Auto Club or Las Vegas. It was fantastic stuff there from the 5. And he's running pretty good again here tonight. Running top 5 and was top 10 basically all the opening stage.
Battle continues for this top 10, but Burns is the new name. Seen a few drivers shuffle in and out of this. Earlier it was the 12 of Murphy. Now it's the 9 of Burns that's added himself to the fringe. 10th position with Alex Forget trying to figure out a way around the 9.
Yeah, on board here with the 19. He's going to see what he can do against Jeremy Burns, trying to break into the top 10 here. We've already seen the 19 have a little bit of handling issues today. We saw him flip the wall once or twice, get loose once or twice, but continues to kind of press on here. He's trying to get into the top 10 for basically the first time here today. And he's got a lot of positions right in front of him. You can just find that little bit of momentum to kind of step out and make the pass. The problem is everyone else in front of him is running so close together that he's not really getting a huge speed difference between himself and the cars he's trying to pass right now. Because Burns is getting the drive from Harrison, who's getting the drive from Keith, so on and so forth here, all the way basically up to about 7th.
33 of Dylan Bickelsheimer, who was caught up in a wreck very early in this race. The second incident on those restarts. Nick Alves a little bit of a blinking issue. Side by side with the 81 and the 8 of Richardson. Yuna's going by on the inside, will clear out of turn 2. 8 all over the back bumper. There's an on board with the 8 of Richardson. Up 5 spots. Looks like it's been tough though. Completing these passes, I know the track temperature is not as high as I expected it to be here today. It's still pretty warm. 83 degrees, it's come down a little bit. We saw some drivers kind of favor that when the track was cooler. Now that it's starting to rubber up, I expect it to keep spiking like we saw earlier in the race. So watching the 8 try to pass for the top 15. Actually running in 15th position. Yuna's holding on to that. Nick Alves, Parker Johnson, and then Jeremy Burns did lose that position to Alex Forget. Gotta wonder when Burns will have to make that early exit. Side by side again. Here's the 24 of Alves, still with that connection issue. Gonna end up losing the spot to the 8. And back up front. 4/10 separate Matt Robinson. Dakota Floyd with a connection issue. Will he come back? 57. Internet connection issue. Completely gone from the session. Not sure what happened to Dakota Floyd, but he needs a caution to get back in this thing.
Yeah, he really does. He's a little out of it right now. I'll take a look at the replay.
He was 4/10 back, was running similar lap times last time by, and then just disappeared.
Just completely. And now he's scored 2 laps down in 27th, so that is a real disappointing moment there for the 57. on what was shaping up to be a really promising run through the opening 70 laps here.
Feel bad for Dakota Floyd. I mean, he's had a great start to the season, got his first win here on Wednesday night. But we're starting to watch some other names rise to the top. Here at Dover, it's a unique racetrack, similar to what we talk about at Pocono or Darlington. Those unique racetracks that you don't have that cookie cutter template banking, quad oval, or tri-oval race. Those mile-and-a-half racetracks are notorious for having the repeat guys in the top 5. But you come to a track like this, you've got Jeremiah Nelson, Al Likens, Trevor Earhart, Matt Robinson, and Michael Call just dominating so far in the top 5. There hasn't been really anybody else up here, with the exception Dakota Floyd. I'll make mention of that again, not to, throw salt in that wound. But a lot of these drivers that typically aren't up front every single week are having a lot of success right now at the Monster Mile.
Yeah, they really are. And we've seen already a couple of drivers who we typically see out front have some early issues. Of course, Carter Linz with the contact with Matt Robinson a few laps ago. Then Dakota Floyd with what appears to be a connectivity issue. So we're seeing this is causing some new names, new faces to kind of work their way to the front here. And it's starting to get pretty interesting watching this top 5, top 10 battle. Jump on board here again with Alex Forget, who has cleared Jeremy Burns, and he is on the hunt here again, right behind Tyler Harrison, Trevor Keith. 3 cars all stuck nose to tail down the back straightaway. A lot of battling going on right here. Harrison looking to the inside of Keith. Forget gets right to the back bumper here, the 45. Where is he going to go is the question. This is a pretty tight racetrack. There's multiple lanes, but there is not a lot of room, per se.
And with that lack of room, there's a lot of dirty air. Watching the exit there off of turn 2, Forget chooses the outside. 45 with Harrison going to look to the bottom when they clear the 15. Coming off the corner, here goes Forget to the top 10. And the 9 of Burns just behind this. Where does he go?
Yeah, he's kind of watching this unfold here. Yeah, it's good stuff here. Harrison cleared Keith. Oh, it looks like Forget's just going to be able to clear him here. Oh, I think Keith caught a piece of the wall, but it was pretty tight coming off of turn 4. Now to the 15, right back to the inside. And TK, he is dialed in right now, trying to battle with the 19. That is a fantastic bit of work right now. You also got Jeremy Burns just behind him here, so battle's not over yet for the driver of the KSX machine.
I'm going to try to find best camera that I can for this. I know it's here. I'll find it. Don't worry. We're actually starting to think about that here within the next 10 laps, I'd say.
Yeah, probably. They got back to racing, say, probably around lap 55 or so, give or take. That means that they can probably run about lap 95 to lap 100 on this tank of fuel, especially with it going green the whole way. So I would suspect in the next 10 to 15 laps, we'll start seeing some folks coming down pit road. It looks like Jeremy Burns actually might be coming down pit road for out of sequence, but a scheduled stop for the 9 specifically.
Yeah, 9 probably taking that exit now. Have to leave early here for the collegiate esports. But Jeremy Burns getting 5th there in stage 1. Bringing it down pit road now on lap 82. Good luck there. The college esports series on iRacing. I'm not going to direct you all over there because that's competition with us. But if you would like to continue to see Jeremy Burns, that's where he'll be.
But
Watching these
you can
last,
always check that out after you watch the rest of this one here at Dover. Because we got a good one going right now. And I would say don't look now, but we've got a couple of really fast cars in the top three. They all ran within 0.06 of a second of each other that last lap.
Yeah, watching the 41 and the 31. This time by, I'm still paying attention to these lap times. Nelson matching Robinson's speed. Earhart a little bit off there that time by. I'm going to leave it up on the screen for one more. Let's see if Nelson is consistently matching the times. He'll probably catch up to Earhart if he can continue this trend. There you go. A little bit at a time for the 31. I'm impressed. I don't usually pick a driver mid-race, but I like what Jeremiah Nelson's doing right now.
He's giving you a lot to like, that's for sure. He looks really quick out there. He's looked really steady as well, which is a very underrated bit of Dover. At least anytime we've seen him on screen here, he hasn't looked like he's had any, crazy moments, almost losing the car coming out of the corner. He's handling the bumps well. So far, so good for the driver of the 31. And looks like Trevor Earhart's getting back onto the throttle here a little bit. He's starting to reel in Matt Robinson just a touch. Got down to about 1/3 of a second down the back straightaway. And that's about the gap here once again going into turn one. So that's one of those things as a driver that's got to be excruciating. You're running second, you're running well. You see the leader, and just with the nature of the dirty air coming off of their car and the fact that Robinson's working with clean air, just kind of stuck in a weird 3/10, 4/10 gap right now, trying to find something that'll break that gap, whether it's tire wear that's going away for the 11 or finding a different lane that gets a little clean air on the nose of your race car. You just start spending every lap thinking, all right, what can I do differently? What needs to happen for me to break this last little bit of the gap to get up there and battle for the lead?
iRacing update is the answer. These cars have seemed to just be aero.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the real life counterpart.
Yeah.
They've done a good job of matching what the car actually does. But man, is it infuriating. When you're faster than a guy and you chase him down for 3 or 4 tenths and then you get into that bubble, as we call it, and then you can't go anywhere. That's the problem. In this racetrack, especially off the exit, it makes it even worse. So if you're Trevor Earhart right now, the best thing you can do is that self-discipline. Just keep your head right. Don't get frustrated with that bubble. Just dance outside of it. Keep running your line. Eventually, Robinson's tires are going to be too bad. If you're beating them on lap times, eventually you will get there. You kind of know that bubble is just a false. It's kind of holding that 11 car ahead of you. You're not doing anything wrong. And he's listening. Right. Look at him.
Yeah, got a little creative with the line there. Went high in 3 and 4, cut back down, cut off a huge chunk of time. Got right to the back bumper. Going to try it again here in 1 and 2. Oh, this is going to get interesting because he is right there on the back bumper. Going to apply some pressure here in 3 and 4. Gets up to the wall. Robinson going to try to do a shallow diamond versus the more aggressive one here from Earhart. Battle a line, battle the styles. Oh, and now Earhart darts to the bottom. Here he goes, looking for the lead on lap 94.
He's going to get it. Trevor Earhart started on the pole. Didn't get to lead a single lap. This will be the first one halfway through the race that Trevor Earhart will get a lap led.
That is some fantastic dedication to not get down after losing the early track position. He's looking real good right now. Now the question is, does he have the speed to get away from Robinson? Because right now the 11 hanging around on the back bumper. 2 tenths is the gap. And that battle let Nelson close in just a little bit. As you take a look here, Harrison and Forget, these guys, the moment they've started battling, they've been moving their way through the field, but have not been able to sort out the battle they've been having to this point.
Yeah, the 45 and the 19 have been the yellow flag here on lap 96. Kevin Orlando on the backstretch.
That's got to be one of those moments. If you're Matt Robinson, you're like, oh man, that couldn't have happened just before I got passed for the lead instead of just after.
It's coming off of pit road. We were actually cycling green flag pit stops, cold tires. 27 snaps it loose, backs it into the wall slightly. That's
very notably.
Yellow.
This is just when that fuel window was truly about to be like, all right, everyone has to come on down. So the rest of the field, I'm sure, is absolutely thrilled that we are pitting right here under yellow because, I mean, we must have been at most a couple laps from folks having to consider coming down pit road.
Yeah, 44 laps on the stint. I would say half the field was going to come down one lap and the other half was going to come down the second lap. Now everyone's coming in at the same time.
And this is going to be a very critical set of pit stops here. We saw track position really change the game earlier on for Dakota Floyd before we had those connectivity issues. Is there going to be anyone who tries to get off cycle here compared to the leaders? Trying to get some of that track position. Passing has proved to be a bit of a challenge. Not impossible. Certainly not a straightforward process. You really got to work it. So who's going to try to get some of that track position here is the question.
So it's still too early to tell on the strategy with the 41 who took the lead. Right sides go up, left sides now. 4-tire pit stop for both the 11 and the 41. Who's going to win the battle off of pit road? Robinson gets the jack dropped and it's close, but the 41's going to win the battle. Jeremiah Nelson maintains third spot. You have Al Likens and Michael Call for the top 5. Don't go anywhere. We have more coverage to continue here from Dover. You're watching the Chapman Cup Series live on Vspeed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Back here live at Dover, green flag just dropped a lap ago, and Trevor Earhart hits the loud pedal. Al Likens got around the 11 of Matt Robinson on that restart and moves his way up to second position. Jeremiah Nelson, Michael Call remain in the top 5.
Al Likens is, Al Likens, tell you what, that 13 has looked really stout all evening long. This is the highest we've seen him run. He's up to P2. Curious if he's got something under the hood here to try to reel in Earhart.
You watched Earhart earlier in the dirty air, and now we're watching the 41 in clean air. Does he have the same side effects that Robinson had earlier? You go out there, you rip the lead out to a full second or more, and then you get reeled back in. Do we see that green flag run that we saw earlier? It was almost a full fuel run from that stage. Now at lap 104, these drivers have now completed half this race, and I think that's a perfect opportunity. I know we just came back from a commercial break. As we watch the 31 of Nelson get around the 11, it's going to fight back into 1 and 2. Perfect chance to go maxed out here on Vspeed. Maxed out here on Vspeed. Hope you enjoyed the sights and sound of the 1 mile oval here in Delaware. Forgot how to speak there for a moment. Full second lead here for Trevor Earhart, Matt Robinson in second spot. This is the catch-22. The 41 in clean air, you pull that lead out. We saw that earlier from the 11. It didn't work out for him in the long run, but if we get a caution, I don't know what's in store for us.
Yeah,
into the wall.
We maybe don't need a caution if that's going to happen. That might just start reeling things in a little bit as it stands. That gap that was a second gets cut basically in half here as race leader Trevor Earhart clips the wall pretty significantly coming out of 2. He really got a good piece of it there. Cut the gap down significantly. Robinson now only back to half a second back versus a full second. Looks like that 41 car still no worse for wear, but that's one of those hits that when you do that, you're like, all right, can't do that again, because who knows what's that's going to do to the car at that point. But yeah, that really tightened things up for the lead here a little bit. Robinson now a half second back. Nelson within a second on board here with the 31. It's been a Bit of a quiet day, but a fantastic one so far for Jeremiah Nelson here in the 31. He's up 13 spots, and I mean, can't ask for a better view really than what he's got right now, watching these two duke it out for the lead. And he's right in tow to capitalize if something happens.
Yeah, watching the 31, I think if the 11 and 41 do start to battle, 31's in a great position, saving the tires outside of that bubble by about 0.2. I really like, again, I'm going to double down. I like where the 31's going to be for a possible race win. Up in the top 5 all day from outside of starting this race. It's been a rocky start for a lot of these drivers, and we can't confirm. Mother Nature said, I'm not allowed to race tonight. The electricity was the issue for Dakota Floyd.
That's, I mean, not much you can do there, but still a heartbreaker nonetheless. That's brutal.
New names battling for the top 10 with Trevor Keith, the consistent, Parker Johnson, Brandon Richardson. Up 10 spots for 9th and 10th spot right now. The 8 car has shown top 10 promise in this one.
Yeah, he's looked really quick today. He's up a bunch of positions. He's up from 20th up to 10th now. Be right on board here with Richardson. He is putting together a really strong evening here as he's battling here. Trevor Keith, Parker Johnson, 2 drivers who are also putting together great runs. Both Parker Johnson and Brandon Richardson up 10 spots. They started 19th and 20th respectively. They're now up to 9th and 10th. As we take a look battle here, that's Justice Murphy trying to hold off Alex Forget. And take a look at the car 2 in front of him. That's Ryan Munoz, who's up from 32nd now to 12th. That
biggest
81,
mover.
He continues to pick him off here.
Yeah, it's actually tied for biggest mover between Munoz and, I believe, Caleb Gilbert is up 18 spots. So go up here to 7th position, started back in 25th. But if you want to get technical, I think the 81 wins this because he started from the pits. The caution fell on the first 100 feet. Got a lucky break. So technically, started back at 32nd. Worth noting, Rob Rader out of the race here. 32nd position for the 53. Is on pit road right now in the Chapman number 53 Ford Mustang. You have Joe Joya out of the race. Michael Reed, Carter Lenz, Dakota Floyd, Kyle Diaz, and then Jeremy Burns with his early exit. Got stage points in 5th spot, but now 26th on the racetrack. Trevor Earhart maintaining a lead of about 0.8 of a second here at Dover. Closest battle on the racetrack is amongst the top 15. Alex Forget, Justice Murphy, and Justin Ritchie in the 55.
Yeah, watching here on board with Justin Ritchie, currently scored in the 15th position. Watching this battle unfold in front of him. To make their way through 1 and 2, you're really starting to feel this track shift a little bit. You see how much more rubber is being laid down now versus when we started this race. Initially, it was just kind of down that bottom lane. It's worked its way all the way up to the middle groove as well. You can see from the Skycam, especially in 1 and 2, take a look at just how dark the corner has turned here. Yeah. That's just how much rubber these guys are putting down. It's just chewing through the tires. And that's going to only get worse here over the last 75 laps of this race.
Watching the temps come down a little bit, you see the cloud cover change. And it's very, very dark on the race surface. It's also dark in the sky, so clouds starting to become a factor here.
It's going to be a really interesting battle here as this race progresses because with the track switching from partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, track temperatures coming down and the track rubbering in a bit, you're going to really see some adjustments behind the wheel at the back end of this race. And if whoever is able to clock that adjustment the fastest is really going to make some headway in the closing moments. And if it's someone who's like in the top 5, they could really give themselves a great chance here to go for the win because this track is not going to handle at all in the last 40 laps the way it did in the first 40.
Continues here for 13th through 15th spot. Alex Forget off the throttle, trying to give room to the 12, but here goes Justin Ritchie to the inside. Got a little loose there off the exit of 4. Still continues to battle.
Yeah, it was, they say loose is fast. That was maybe a little more loose than he was hoping for, but he's still very much in the battle here. So he's trying to work his way around. Forget might have a run to the outside here. Forget got caught up in trying to make the move here in front of Justice Murphy. And that loss of momentum opened the door for Ritchie to pounce on the outside. He'll slide up the 14th. And now he's looking for more as he's going to get a run right up to the back bumper of the 12.
To the outside in 3 and 4. Can he get the nose in there? He will. And out of racetrack. 12 drove him really hard there off the exit of the corner. And wow, let's go back and watch that.
Oh, man, I mean, he slammed that wall and somehow stayed in the throttle, made the pass. I mean, a little bit of contact there with Murphy as well, but that is about as aggressive a pass as you're going to see, because he decided that he was going to just keep the throttle down and ricochet his way past the 12 there.
McAl's under fire now from Daniel Holloway. We're watching back here in 16th position. Al's going to lose the spot, and we're going to run out of racetrack. That got really tight there off of 4.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, it was tighter between the 12 and the 55.
Well, technically, there was definitely contact there, but, that was 21 and 24 not giving each other a lot of room here.
No, they are not. They're going to do it again.
Yeah. A little more room that time. They learned from the previous lap that they may need to give each other more than a papers with.
Brandon Pamitat 2 laps down just behind this. 24 into the wall. Still not able to clear the 21. Candyman down low.
Trying to work the inside. Got it to go that time. Took a few laps, but he got there. Here comes Pamitat now to the inside. And everywhere you look, there's a battle happening on the racetrack right now. This is where Dover really kind of comes into its own. This is some fun stuff. When you start finding these longer runs, and everyone starts getting into a rhythm, and every couple of cars they get stacked up behind. You got a good battle going, and then someone breaks free for a moment, and you're like, oh, I have a chance to breathe. And then a lap later, someone's back on top of you, or you're coming up on somebody else. It's a ton of fun.
And I'm going to announce it again. We are coming up on green flag pit stops. We're within 10 laps of that window. Trevor Earhart, Matt Robinson, Jeremiah Nelson. This is the part where I think Nelson, if he can execute on pit road, could get up to these drivers. He's shown the speed. He's been within a couple tenths of these leaders all race long. I'm going to triple down now. The 31 car has the potential to win this race. You just got to execute now.
I'll tell you what, they talk about a commentator's curse, and 31 has been able to avoid it the first 2 times. Well, let's hope he'll be able to do it third. But he's having a really clean run right now. Currently scored 2 seconds back at Trevor Earhart. Only about 7/10 back of Matt Robinson, who's led a number of laps here today. This guy's got a lot of speed. Just a matter of can he get that track position. I'd be really curious to see what happens if somehow the 31 ends up in front of Earhart, through a pit strategy call, taking 2 tires, pitting early, whatever it might be. Just seeing if that clean air wakes that car up the way it's woken up the 41, because when Trevor Earhart hit that clean air, that car really set sail and is looking pretty stout, as it looks like we do have a couple of cars making their way down pit road now.
12 of Justice Murphy into pit lane. Also, just 1 car down pit road.
That will be the catalyst for this stop, though.
Yeah.
And
this might be a little early, honestly. 60 laps to the end.
I think they probably could go another 5, probably easy. Another 10. I don't know about 10. Probably somewhere in the next 5 or so. We'll see a few more cars come in. Here comes Ben Laughter. The problem is, even if you pit at lap 145, you still come up a few laps short here of making it to the end. So I don't think anyone where they're at right now is in position to make this in one more stop. I do believe this is a 2-stop race, to my understanding, with where we sit, unless these guys can stretch this thing to about lap 150.
I don't wonder if anybody's trying that strategy as well. Alex, I know we saw it there in the first stage with the cautions the way they fell, but do you think it's possible that anybody could pull it off without those yellows?
Without the yellows, I would be very surprised if someone could stretch it that far. One other thing is that I know in my notes to my that's going to cost a little bit of time. Quick stop though, nonetheless for the 27, but could have been even quicker on the quick stop. 8.9, but that probably could have been sub 8 at least, maybe sub 7.
Yeah, and that was a fuel only stop for Kevin Orlando, so he's trying a little bit of strategy here. He's going to run these tires out to the end. Watching Trevor Earhart with the lead of over 2 seconds to Jeremiah Nelson, the 11 of Matt Robinson. Not sure what happened here. He might have missed trying to get to pit road. We're going to back it up here. 31 might have got around him the old-fashioned way. Look at this.
Yeah, just got down to the inside, was able to get that car to rotate in 3 and 4. Last time by while we were talking about Kevin Orlando Jr., and Nelson goes on to second. Here comes Robinson, though, down pit road. Trevor Earhart, also on pit road now. So, first and third from a moment ago in the pits. This is a huge stop.
54, Caleb Gilbert still out on the racetrack. Tyler Harrison. These drivers stretching out this run. 47 laps on the stint. If they can go another 3 or 4 laps, I am confident they can make it to the end of this race. But we have problems in the back of the field. Somebody on the backstretch had problems. Something happened here. See if I can find it. Looking back here on the replay.
Yeah, taking a look at Michael Call leaving pit road. Not sure if it was that.
Something happened. Something going on in the backstretch. Fred Pennington will take over the lead. He has stretched this run a lot more than everyone else. 49 laps in the stint.
Yeah, that's and that's the thing. If you can run 49 laps, if theoretically you could do it again, unfortunately that still puts him about 4 or 5 laps short. As things sit, only car yet to pit, I believe, is Grant Turner. And that 39, not sure how much longer he's going to let this thing run, though.
Well, based off the clutch pedal. He's trying to stretch it all the way to 150.
If he does, this would be his final stop, assuming he'd be able to do it again. That's a big ask, though.
He is still on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, this could work out really interesting here. Grant Turner looks like he'll be able to have stretched enough where if he's able to save as much on the next run as well, would be able to make it to the end of this thing. With this being his last stop, he's out for another lap here. Tell you what, how much fuel do they got in the reserves here for the 39?
All of it?
Seems like it.
24 goes by on the outside, and interesting on pit road, Matt Robinson in and out of the box, 0.3 faster than Trevor Earhart. Down the lane was about 0.5 faster and has chalked away that lead. Got back around Jeremiah Nelson, and a lot of lap traffic here, cycling through all these different strategies, different drivers coming down at different times. Lap 151, we're all over the place with only 8 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's fixing itself very quick, though, as I think Grant Turner has just made a stop. So that is going to bring the whole field around here. And when this cycles through, Trevor Earhart's got the lead, but man, it is not by much. Take a look at the gap here, about a 1/4 second over Matt Robinson. And that's about 3 seconds back to Jeremiah Nelson. Looks like the 31 lost a bit of time on pit road. He is on 1 lap fresher tires, but I'm not sure if that's going to really mean a whole lot here. We're cutting down 3.5 seconds. But Matt Robinson, Trevor Earhart, I mean, really, Bradley, once this thing got going, they've been the class of the field today. It's only fitting that they're going to duke this thing out for the win with the last 50 laps here.
We're going to run this thing out to the end. 1/4 of the race left. You're watching the Chapman Cup Series live from Dover. Matt Robinson, Trevor Earhart. We're about to take it side by side. Back with more coverage here on Vspeed in just a moment.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Back here live at Dover and watching a battle for the fifth position rather. Al Likens just got around Caleb Gilbert in the 13. Looking fast here in the late run. We're still in that window where we would have to stop one more time. It's going to be about 5 to 6 laps shy for most of this field. One driver that stands out, though, is the 39. Looking back here at Grant Turner. He stretched this run further than anyone else. He's one lap down because of it, but he could stand to take the race lead and run this out to the end. If he can run it out a full 50 laps, he took it to 151 as he came down pit road. And that's barring that the race stays green. We don't know if that's going to be the case.
That's going to be the biggest question, if you ask me, is if this thing stays green. If it does, Grant Turner is going to be in a really fascinating spot. I think he'll be the only driver who could even dream about making it to the end here without having to stop. But how much fuel do you have to save? How much lift and coast do you need to do to make it happen? And is it worth it at that point to stretch it out that far? I honestly think that it might be, but the 39, I mean, he ran that thing about 5 or 6 laps longer than anybody else on that last stint, with the exception of Fred Pennington, who he outran by about 2 or 3 laps. So really curious to see if this falls the way of Grant Turner. Obviously, the 39, great qualifying run, had all that kind of erased on that lap 1 incident on the start of the race. He's kind of been fighting an uphill battle since, but if this thing falls the right direction, he is going to be in the perfect position to reap the benefits. 30 is going to be in a maybe possible sort of situation, but it's still a very tall ask. He ran 49 laps that last stint, set up his last run to be about 52, which I think is just a little too much. But for the rest of these guys who pit around lap 145 or so, I mean, they're going to have to come down pit road again if this stays green. Got to imagine one of them here, like, they're all probably hoping that there is going to be some sort of yellow, because I think they all know that the 39 ran that very long and that he might be in the prime position here if this goes all the way. Obviously not the pace that the 41 or the 11's got, but, you know, fuel strategy wins they count just as much as a win on pace, man. You know, whatever you got to do to give yourself that track position when you need it.
55 of Justin Ritchie, speeding penalty on the pit road. Ended up getting that 30-second hold. So ends up losing. And now 2 laps down here at the Monster Mile. Trevor Earhart with a 2.5-second lead over Matt Robinson. Jeremiah Nelson, who's run third pretty much all race long. Michael Call, who's been in the top 5 all race long. And then it's Al Likens, slowly chipping away. Last time by, a tenth faster. This time by, they match lap times.
Tell you what, yeah, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Nelson, Call, and Likens, these guys have been kind of top 5 really all day. And for all 3 of them, a fantastic drive. Obviously, we've seen Michael Call in victory lane this year, but to see him build on that result with another fantastic run so far here feels really, really good. Same for Al Likens, Jeremiah Nelson. I mean, these guys are running really, really well right now. And have executed when they've needed to. You know, no major issues on pit road, nothing taking them out of it. They've been able to avoid stuff as it's come up. They've been really fast. And now Likens here maybe going to take 4th away. He got right up to the back bumper of Call. Not going to be able to make anything happen here in 3 and 4, but, and he was flying.
Yeah, took that double diamond on the entry, really low exit, all over the back end of the 5. Gonna go into 3 and 4 again. Let's see the line. Gonna try a middle line. 5 takes the line away. Well played. Low exit for the 13. There you go. That's how you defend right there. The 5 of Call. Mirror driving a little bit.
Hey, and especially in these cars, that's the way to do it. Put some bad air in front of them. Try to take the nose out from them and hold them off. But, man, Al Likens, he is not going away. Put a little bit of a bumper to him there down the back straightaway. Just a very cautious, it's like, hey, I'm here. Better watch out. And now Likens a little over-under to the inside in turn 1, trying to take 4th place away. And he has got it. That 13 looking mighty strong. Here comes Call back on the inside. He's got to run. They're going to go back at it here in 3.
Nice crossover there from Michael Call, still fighting for the 4th position. Will he clear? Call will clear, but the 13's going to do the same. No. Nicely done, Michael Call.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this is a fantastic battle for some very meaningful spots here. Top 5 battling. These guys are trading away that 4th spot left and right. A good move from Likens to take it. A greater move from Call to take it back. And
Parker Johnson.
Caleb Gilbert as well. Matt Robinson down pit road.
Johnston got a speeding penalty on the entry.
Oh, man.
He's looking
Last
at the top
thing you
10.
want to see. He's been running really, really well today, too. And this confirms what we were thinking, that basically the whole field is going to have to stop here for fuel.
Yep.
One car that I'm confident we're not going to see is Grant Turner. After that, though, I'm pretty sure we're going to see basically everybody else here. With how many cars we're pitting right now, got to imagine everyone thinking about stopping right now to make it to the end.
Trevor Keith exiting his stall. 9.6 in the box, looks like a 2-tire stop. Nelson down pit road in the 31. 2-tire call for the 31 as well.
Yeah, I think a 2-tire call is going to be a very popular pick here. Just something to give you a little bit more traction, but you don't want to waste any time on pit road here. And a 4-tire stop could cost you some serious track position. So a lot of 2-tire calls feel like the move. Here's Earhart on track right now. People's kind of cycling through. The 41 yet to come down pit road. You see he is just to the back bumper here, Robinson, a little bit. Now the 41 going to try to get it slowed down. Bring it on the pit road. Don't want to overdo it. Gets on the brakes. Think he got it slowed down in time.
Well done. 24 Nick Alves just behind that. Alves a lap down. Likens Call. That battle that went back and forth. Looks like Likens beats the 5 to pit road. And it's Alex Forget who's stretching this run out. 35 laps on the stint. How many more laps will we see? The 19 on the racetrack. 33 on fresh tires. Going to look to the inside and like a rocket ship. And 3 and 4 will go by.
Yeah, he looked really fast there. So with
Munoz got a speeding penalty as well. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, good. No, that's a real bummer for Ryan Munoz, who has done literally everything right today to get his track position back. Just slowly chipping away at it, working his way to the front. And similar to Parker Johnson, just right when he got up to the to the top 10, falls apart here right at the end. Brutal break here for both the 48 and the 81 of Munoz, but with that only leaves 5 cars here on the lead lap, and these guys are going to try to stretch it. Nope, Holloway going to bring it down. That will bring it down to 4. Forget, Harrison, Turner, and Pennington. Of course, the car to keep an eye on here is that 39 of Grant Turner, who we believe, if there is any car who could make it to the end here without pitting, it would be that machine right there.
There's on the racetrack, on the clutch pedal, maybe too little too late. 36 laps in the stint. We still have 26 to go as they cross the stripe.
Yeah, I mean, already 36 laps into his stint. I think at this point he's just hoping for a caution to bail him out. Might be the same deal with Forget, because neither of them have a chance of making it all the way to the end on this tank of fuel. So I think they're just running laps and hoping for something to break their way.
That
For Grant Turner, though,
16.
that's a whole...
Sorry about that. That V-speed math. It's 16 to go.
Oh, yes. Once again, we prove here that we are not the math people here in the Vspeed booth. We are simply the people who talk about what's happening on the racetrack. It sounds also like the 81, Ryan Munoz now out of the car. That is a brutal end to what had been a pretty heroic rally on the day.
Parker Johnston also out of the car.
Man, for both of those guys, that's just a brutal turn of events.
And another speeding penalty. It's better than pit barrels, but it still hurts.
Yeah. So, sounds like actually it might have been a connection issue for the 81. I just saw he reconnected to the session, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But 14 laps to go on board here with Tyler Harrison. Currently scored in the second position, but cannot make it to the end here on this stint, I don't believe. I mean, he is really trying to save fuel. Did not get up much out of the bottom half of fifth gear there, going down the back straightaway. He's bleeding a ton of speed. And now it looks like I think Pennington had just made his stop.
Ooh,
So this is, or either that or he just got passed on the racetrack outright.
What's a question mark for me if Grant Turner can actually make this all the way, and he's on the back bumper of Harrison, who's bleeding time. Turner can push the car a little bit more than Harrison.
I think he's looking to do so, if nothing else, by running up on the 45 here. He's forcing Harrison to not be able to save everything that he can, because he's trying to hold on to that spot. On board here with the 39 at Grant Turner. Of course, you know, we've been talking about it a lot, but it's still important to note. Last came down pit road lap 151. Before that, it was, I think, lap 98. So he stretched that over 50 laps the last time. If he does it again, he'd hypothetically be able to make it. This looks like Forget's coming down pit road now. Which is going to shuffle Harrison to the lead with Grant Turner right there. Those two cars now battling for the top spot, battling for the win with 10 to go. And this is oh, there he goes to the inside. Does Grant Turner think about making the move here? I couldn't do it.
I think if you're Grant Turner, you know the 45 probably can't make it to the end. I think you just let him run out of fuel. There's no reason to push it. If you know you can make it, just sit back and wait for the 45 to have to come down pit road. 8 laps to go when we cross the stripe. This battle, different names all the way through.
Oh, big block, bigger move.
Pennington did not come down pit road, by the way.
Oh, that's fascinating.
He's still out on the racetrack.
And now Turner's going for the lead here in 3 and 4. He might get it. He's right there to the inside of Harrison.
Not clear.
Oh, out of the room. Oh, he got it, though. He's got the lead. Not by much, man. He almost ran out of room coming up out of 4, but Grant Turner to the lead here with 7 to go.
There's Al Likens in the background trying to get his lap back.
This is what fresh tire, or not fresh tires, but not having to save fuel is going to look like as he now clears Harrison. Going to set his sights on Turner. That gap between Harrison and Turner starting to open up a little bit. You can't be too ambitious with it. You know you have the lead. You want to get separation from second place, but you got to make sure you hit your number on fuel. And I think that's what's happening with Harrison here. Obviously, if he had the fuel, I'm sure he'd want to go right back after Turner, but I think he's just trying to do anything to make it to the end here and hold on to this top 3 running position.
5 to go here from Dover. Grant Turner, Tyler Harrison on strategy. Trevor Earhart has raced his way back into the top 3 on raw pace. Had an extra stop compared to the top 2 drivers. Matt Robinson got around Pennington. Pennington looking at a top 5. He has 3 seconds ahead of Caleb Gilbert. Jeremiah Nelson has fallen back to 7th. After all of this, the strategy calls. Can Pennington make it to the end and get a top 5? Can Grant Turner make it to the end and get a win? He is pulling away from Harrison, who's having to save more fuel than he wants to. Harrison might be out.
He is just crawling down the back straightaway. Here's Richardson right in there. They almost made contact going into 3. I mean, at this point, the 45 could be classified as a rolling chicane more than a race car. I mean, he is just doing anything he can to try to get this thing to make it to the end. He's lost 4 seconds to Grant Turner in about 4 laps here. Now here comes Earhart, maybe going to try to take second place away.
21, look to the inside there for a minute. Earhart catching up.
Earhart's
You wanna
also
miss by?
ran a second and a half faster than Grant Turner over the last 2 laps. I just don't think he has enough time to get there, assuming the 39 can make it.
He's got to get the white flag, though.
Yeah, he does. He's through 3 and 4 right now. White flag's going to be coming in the air this time presented by Earhart Homes. Love where you live. Grant Turner, I think, has just played his cards right. What a strategy. What a call for the 39.
We're going to go back to the white flag here, and it's one more time around. Half a mile, now a quarter of a mile, and how about that? Grant Turner.
Wow. And you can see the emotion. He is pumped up, and as he should be. Phenomenal win. I mean, started 5th, led 13 laps, does not give an indicator at all of how his day went, and he has just pulled off probably the most impressive fuel strategy win I've seen in a long time.
I don't think he believes it yet.
I think so either. I also don't believe that we ran the entire back half of that race green, and if you told me that with the way the first 9 laps went, I would have said you're lying.
Congratulations to Grant Turner. Winner in the Truck Series. Winner in the Cup Series now.
And I tell you what, man. Harrison somehow made that work. I mean, he was just barely moving at the end of that, but he held on for a podium finish. He'll finish 3rd here today. Finished about half a second ahead of Robinson.
Fred Pennington with a top 10, 3/400ths of a second there for 7th. Michael Call got back around him. Oh, wow.
That was, I tell you what, man, that was a roller coaster of a race in the best kind of way. I'll be honest, in my heart, I was fully expecting a late yellow to happen there. As some of these guys, especially with how variable some of these speeds were at the end, I thought something was going to happen, but nothing did. And just fell the way of Grant Turner, man. What a win and what a reaction. And I'm glad we had the driver cam to see it live. That was cool.
Now looking for our race winner. We're going to pull him up into the broadcast booth. Still working on finding him.
He's just in the waiting room now.
Just there, and 39 of Grant Turner. It's Bradley Cooper and Alex Gagnon in the broadcast booth. Congratulations, you got it done. What a strategy to pull off this win here at Dover.
That was a long and very, I'd say, dangerous strategy, and it worked.
And we're talking about numbers here. You go into lap 151, I think, down pit road, and you're looking at the end of this race. We're running an average of 45 laps on the fuel window. You committed to this knowing we had a rough start. You started in 5th, and you were part of the beginning caution here tonight.
I think I was the reason the start of the caution.
And then we couldn't get it going. So you have the first caution that brings out the first 100 feet. Then we have the very same thing on the very next restart. Put you guys into a stage where you could drag it out. Maybe those numbers started to come into effect. You know what you can save now because everyone tried to save to that stage.
Yeah, and having a fuel calculator helped out immensely because that entire time, and as you know with the Truck Series, I've had 2 wins in that, both on fuel mileage. Was watching the entire time the fuel calc saying, it's like, okay, I need 20.5 gallons to make it to the end. So that just told me if I could save just that little bit, like save somehow like 3/4 of a gallon, like I did, I'd make it to the end with only 1 stop. I was expecting a whole lot of others to have to make 2 stops, like everyone else made 2 stops. I wasn't ready for that. So during that entire last 30 laps, I'll say, maybe 25, I was just so nervous for a caution coming out because that would have ruined the entire strategy.
Believe me, they tried. They got very close there, back around the 4th, 5th position. And watching these guys on older tires, Tyler Harrison was doing everything he could to just finish this race. He almost ran out of fuel. But on top of that, you do that strategy and you end up a lap down. And that psychological part of, okay, now I'm a lap down. Is this going to work? Because you have Trevor Earhart, who finished the race 4.8 seconds behind you. It's really hard to math that on demand while you're figuring that all out.
It honestly was one of those points that it's either I win this spectacularly or I just get a good finish. So,
well, you got the good finish. You got the top spot. Congratulations. Now a Cup Series winner. And I know that you've brought a lot to the table here with how you've approached these races. And I know that you've been a long time coming here. Grant Turner, is there anyone you want to shout out for this victory here, race 7?
I want to thank you guys all for putting on such a spectacular show. I didn't give you a salute this time. I apologize.
Yeah,
I was
you're a
so
little
focused on fuel saving.
Yeah.
Somehow we can understand that you were a little preoccupied with a strategy more than half the race in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I keep on looking at my watch. I apologize. My heart rate monitor is pinging at me saying I have
160?
too high of heart rate.
160? What are we talking? What's the numbers on that?
136.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
What was it coming across the line?
I didn't look. I was too afraid of spinning out. But again, I want to thank you guys up in the booth putting on a spectacular show for us. Racing Revolution, always happy to be racing here. Whole lot of fun. Want to thank Splash and Go Graphics for this livery. I've been making modifications to it every single week, and yes, it will be a different paint style every single week. I hope you're ready for that. I've got all 32, or actually, I think I got like 34 of them ready. And I do want to thank my team, Slightly Dangerous Racing. Yeah, to listen to them all in the Discord helped me keep myself straight.
Always good to have teammates, and I would thank Chase Commander there in the chat. Favorite driver. Woo.
Oh, he's from my live stream chat. He's excited just as well as me. So
there you go. There you go. Congratulations again, and we look forward to seeing this season. I believe we have 7 different winners now. Is that
something like that?
So.
Yeah,
that also means I get to be part of the All-Star race.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Winning
Exciting
red.
stuff.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Grant, exciting stuff. I love watching your reactions, and we got you up there on the live camera, and we look forward to seeing you again up here. We're going to Kansas in a week's time. Thanks for coming to talk to us in Victory Lane.
Always appreciating it. Have a good one.
There you have it. Race winner at Dover. It is Grant Turner. It's a surprise win, honestly. What a contrast that this race started out with. You got the first lap, you spin out. You start in the top 5, you spin out. And then from there on, it's recovery mode every single lap. And he finds a way back to the front with a strategy call. Congratulations, Grant Turner. We have final race results, post-race coverage, and those final 2 in the top 3 right after this. You are watching the Chapman Cup Series live from Dover on Vspeed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Welcome back here at Dover, where post-race shenanigans are always the best. Grant Turner with a surprise win. Congratulations to the driver of the 39. He led 13 laps, and the most important one at the end of this race. Trevor Earhart and Tyler Harrison with a top 3. Final race results up on your screen. It was a rocky start. 2 of the 4 cautions were on the first 10 laps. We didn't even go green. And then we had the stage caution. Did not hit
turn 2 till lap 9.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we had the stage caution that came out there at lap 50. Right around green flag pit stops at lap 1, I want to say lap 102.
About there, yeah. We got going, I think, again, 102. I think it was around like lap 97, 98-ish is when the last caution came out.
Yeah, and so we had another yellow that reset the strategy and just threw everybody. I think I like where Grant Turner's mind is. He was willing to go a lap down to win this race, and that's what wins it. Sometimes thinking outside the box. Matt Robinson's going to end up finishing 4th. A lot of these drivers that were in the top 5 all race long. Caleb Gilbert, Jeremiah Nelson, they end up 5th and 6th. Michael Call, another top 5 car, finishes 7th. Fred Pennington going to get a top 10 with his strategy call, similar to what Grant Turner had. Trevor Keith and Alex Forget Perube will finish in the top 10.
Looking back here to the 11th spot, it'll be Dylan Picklesheimer, Al Likens, and Justice Murphy. The last cars on the lead lap here with the way this one panned out. Just not enough time for everyone to get their lap back because Grant Turner had one less pit stop. So Richardson and Holloway will finish 14th and 15th, 1 lap down. Alves and Sirkovich, same deal, also 1 lap down, 6th and 17th. Bennett, Ritchie, and Orlando will round out your top 20, all 2 laps down.
Brendan Pamitat will finish in 21st spot. Ben Lafter never really had a race get going for him here. 22nd position. Christopher Schaefer, speeding penalty at the end of this race. Went a lap down, went a few more laps down. Just a lot of problems for the 23. Up and down day for the 81. I gotta say, when you start from the pits, you get that lucky break. You race your way up to the top 10, and then a speeding penalty. Man, glad Dover's over for the 81. Parker Johnson, same thing, another speeding penalty. Early exit for Jeremy Burns, and then this is where everything goes awry. You have Kyle Diaz, Dakota Floyd with a connection issue. The power goes out. Carter Lenz, heavy damage. Actually had a connection issue just now. I think Dakota Floyd just DOSed me. I think we're back. Can we buffer there for a second? We're back. All right, Floyd, I won't say your name anymore. Carter Lenz, 29th position. Michael Reed will finish in 30th. There's a lot of laps down here. Joe Joya, Rob Rader. So pretty much the entirety of the race for Rob Rader in the 53. So whatever that was there in the connection interruption, we have drivers to talk to. Post-race coverage continues with our second place finisher, Trevor Earhart. And after starting on the pole, the driver of the number 41 definitely had the car to win this race, had the raw speed. You got ahead of Matt Robinson by almost half a mile, but it was ultimately strategy that won this race. And I know in your mindset, you're thinking, I'm faster than all these guys. I pit when I want to. How frustrating is it here at the Monster Mile when not only you got to worry about the wall, but you also have to worry about pits?
You know, I don't know if I have the words to describe how frustrating it is right now. I don't think I've ever been more upset to finish second in a race in a long time. That one hurts. I got to give credit to Turner. I mean, he pulled the pit strategy out of the hat and he gets the win. But man, we had a rocket ship tonight, and this one's gonna sting.
We go back to the laps led 77. That's almost half this race. You had battled, there was a few names, and I'll go with Matt Robinson as one of them. Probably the 57 of Dakota Floyd is another one. Carter Lenz as well, that were up there in the top 5 that you were going to have to contend with. And very early on in this race, of course, you hemorrhaged 2 spots in those restarts, but you seemed like you had a long run car. How frustrating was that as well? It just seemed like you had frustration after frustration.
The initial start, we had practiced it as a team. Me and Matt, Jeremy Burns, Michael Call, Carter, and their whole team with Justice, TK, and Tyler. We had practiced on Sunday, and we made an emphasis to work on the start of the race because we kind of knew that could be tricky. And I just didn't want to make a mistake from the pole. I gave up that one spot to Dakota, and then I was trying to be a little bit more aggressive on the second one. Just mistimed it, spun the tires a little bit harder. But I feel like the long run speed is where I've really thrived, and kind of found my pace again in this car over the last couple of weeks. Just haven't had the luck at the end of these things that you kind of need, whether it be just a late race caution here or there that kind of throws the strategy off. It seems like when we've got the speed to cover the field, the strategy just doesn't go our way. Where a couple years ago, the strategies would go our way when we didn't have the speed. So I feel good. It's going to hurt a little bit, but I feel really good about where I am right now with my speed, and how competitive I can be on a week to week basis.
Got one final, it's full circle back to this. You see the 39 go down pit road later than everybody else. He's willing to go a lap down. You get within 5 seconds of him there. Did you think, this isn't going to work? I'm going to run him back down. It doesn't matter that he stayed out and did it one stop. I'm just going to get him.
I didn't even know, to be honest with you. Matt and I came off pit road, and we were just kind of talking amongst ourselves, and we kind of figured Tyler had to pit. And we were kind of doing the math on it, and I thought he would have to pit. And then just when I realized it was like 3 to go, I just knew I was going to catch Tyler, but I didn't know if I could catch Turner. So at that point, you're just hoping he runs out of fuel, and he played it right. You can't be mad at it. I mean, you can't be mad at it, but you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do to get the win, and he made a great strategy call. So hats off to Turner. I mean, it is what it is.
Hats off to a lot of these guys and thinking outside the box. But again, raw pace, 41 car was bad fast here tonight. You started up on the pole. You end up second. I know it's frustrating, but you got a lot of people supporting you. I know you're supporting. You got STC on the hood of that car. We've had that graphic up on the racetrack on previous broadcast. Anybody want to shout out while we have you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first off, shout out to you, Bradley and Alex, for the great broadcast and everything that Vspeed does for us. We greatly appreciate it here. All the admins from a week-to-week basis, they do a great job getting this put together. All the drivers that show up, I mean, it's great looking out there and having a 32 to 35 car field every week. It's a lot of fun to go out there and race these guys, especially a lot of the new guys getting up there and getting in the mix. It's fun to see them get involved in racing with them and learning how they race. And then shout out to all the league sponsors, Chapman Environmental Services, Lynn's Heat and Air, All About Bugs, Earhart Homes, and an extra shout out to Lynn's Heat and Air. We know they went through kind of a tragedy a couple months ago, and we raced with the memory of that on our hoods. So we want to make sure that we never forget. We look forward to coming out next week and then carrying this momentum into Kansas, and we're one spot away from being there in victory lane, and I think it's coming pretty quick.
It feels like we're midway through the season, Trevor. I don't know if you feel that way, but it feels like we're way further in than we actually are, and there's plenty of racing left to be done. I'm sure a win's coming right around the corner for you. We appreciate you coming and talking to us.
Thanks, guys.
Trevor Earhart, second place here at Dover. We have one final driver to bring up into the broadcast booth. It's Tyler Harrison in that third spot. Tyler, man, how much fuel can you save? You were driving. I think it was Alex Gagnon that called you a rolling chicane. I think that's the terminology he used.
I actually wound up oversaving. Yeah, I still had 0.4 once we crossed the finish line.
That's unacceptable.
I know. I could have fought hard for second. I don't know why I didn't. But I was amazed that Turner was able to pit 5 laps after I did. I mean, when I hit down to go to my last stop, I had 0.2 laps of fuel. I thought I was just going to run out in pit lane, but somehow didn't. So it's just one of those deals where just kind of looked at where fuel was starting to sit, and I'm not usually very good at this track, honestly. I was going to be happy with a top 10, top 15 maybe, and I just kind of looked at how much I had and where I was running and where fuel was at the end of the run. I was like, you know what, let me just try it, and it worked out perfectly. Definitely happy that I did that.
Well, I will agree with part of this. You definitely look like a top 10 car, but when you go out there and you throw a strategy out, I think the difference here, Tyler, was it was half and half. You knew that everyone was going to pit twice, and then you were like, well, maybe not. And then you committed to that strategy on the second part of the run. And I don't know if the Streamcat was giving you bad fuel numbers, but it was absolutely one of those where you had to commit at the start of it. Then you really had to save for the second half.
Yeah, it was such a weird strategy. Honestly, just shocked and happy that it worked. Honestly, I thought I was going to run out with 2 to go a couple times where I started pushing, especially fighting hard with Turner. But then I remembered after chatting with TK when we were racing, it's like he came in 5 laps after me, so it just wasn't worth trying to hold him off and burn my stuff up and burn all my fuel up. So just really happy that I got the Recharge Rally car, respectable finish here. Just tried to keep the car clean all day long, and just took a gamble and it paid off. So we'll definitely take this top 3, especially after the EOL that I had. I mean, I started second to last, and this is definitely a respectable finish to get a podium and then get some stage points on top.
Congratulations on the podium finish and driving this car on that strategy. Honestly, didn't think 53 laps. I'm looking at all the numbers here. You ran the longest of anybody on this racetrack here tonight. So 0.4, you probably could have made it one more, I think. But Tyler, is there anybody you want to shout out?
No, absolutely. Yeah, definitely some shout outs. Of course, big shout out to everybody who watches and supports here. And of course, AJ and Ryan over at Recharge Rally for the huge support. Avon Studios, Mr. Detail, one of my good buddies, Chad at Everlast Tattoo, 1922 Coffee and Brew, and C2C Transport, my good buddy Ryan's business. And of course, the league sponsors with Chapman Environmental, Lynn's Heating and Cooling, Earhart Homes, All About Bugs, and of course, you guys for putting on this awesome broadcast. This will definitely be a fun one to go back and watch, and should definitely be a good one, like always.
It was a confusing one to watch, to be honest. I didn't know who was going to make it, who wasn't. Me and Alex batted back and forth several times. It was definitely one that's going to go down in the Chapman history as a race that was surprising, to say the least. But we appreciate you coming up here and talking to us, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Be a good one.
Third place finisher, Tyler Harrison in the 45. And that brings us to our post-race coverage. Alex, I appreciate you as well pulling through this. I know we talked about the spoonfuls of honey and the tea and everything that you could do. You've been conserving your voice for this final moment of the broadcast. Monster Mile. I'm going to save your voice for one more second. Miles the Monster didn't consume your voice enough, so you're still able to talk. Where are we going next week?
Well, we'll be heading to Kansas next week, and I'd like to imagine I was pulling a similar strategy here to Grant Turner and Tyler Harrison, trying to stretch the voice to full distance the way they were trying to stretch the fuel tank to full distance. But yeah, next week should be a lot of fun. I mean, when we talk about the next-gen car, we talk about the fact that the one thing it really sort of sorted out was these 1.5 miles, and that has been no clearer than Kansas Speedway. This car and this track are a fantastic combination, and I'm so excited to get out there because I think the racing is going to be phenomenal.
We will have you back at 100% in 7 days' time, April 22nd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can catch it all live here on Vspeed. Flag-to-flag coverage all season long for season number 5 of the Chapman Cup Series. Is that 5? Is it 6? I don't know.
I'll say 6, yeah.
It's 6.
Season 6,
It's 6, yeah. Sorry, I made you use your voice to correct me there for the end of that. But again, thank everybody here that made this possible in the Chapman Cup Series. Alex Gagnon for sticking it out and being a part of this. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Dover. We'll see you next week at Kansas. Stay tracking, everybody.